Hello, so this is the New Zealand passenger arrival card that you need to fill before landing to New Zealand. So you will be given these cards while you were in the flight, just half an hour before you land in. So we need to fill in the cards for every individual. If you are coming as a family of 3, 2, like for each and every person, every passport, there needs to be a separate arrival card filled in. After filling the arrival card, we need to give this arrival card along with your passport to the customs officer to get you signed into New Zealand or to get you stamped for an entry into New Zealand. And we need to be really careful about filling this arrival card. If you don't fill in the details properly as expected, or if there are any mismatches in filling the details, then you could be fined up to 400 New Zealand dollars. The section 1 is pretty easy, simple. It starts with just the flight number that you are about to land, and also the seat number where you are sitting, and these are all just your passport details. So make sure you are just filling in as per the details which are mentioned in your passport. Don't make any mistakes. And then it is section 2A or 2B. 2A is applicable for the individuals who are moving or migrating and who will be staying in New Zealand. But if you are just coming for a visit for a few months or weeks and you would go back to your country after the visit, then it would be section 2B. So you can fill only either of the sections. Both of the sections won't be applicable to you. And then the next one is section number 3. Section number 3 is the countries that you have visited in the past 30 days. That is also the country where you have started from. And if there are any countries that gets added to your transit, say for example you're transiting through Singapore or Australia, I advise that you also add those countries in this list here. And then the next is section number 4. Section number 4 is you should know the contents of your baggage. So it would usually be yes, you cannot say no. That will raise so many questions on you. So please make sure that you know what are the contents of your baggage. So what I usually do is that I make a list of what are the things that are there in that particular bag, and then I pop that list in the front pocket of the same bag. So there won't be any confusion, and when the customs officer asks me any questions about the contents, it would be very easy. I need not think because they would ask you without opening the bag, what are the contents inside the bag before opening it. So you must be in a position to know. It is good always to be prepared. And then section number 5 and 6 are the most important sections where you can be fined starting from 400 New Zealand dollars. So let's see how we fill the sections. First one is what are the things that you are bringing to New Zealand? Food. So we shouldn't anyways get cooked or uncooked or fresh food for sure, but if you are getting preserved food like pickles or spices or any other things, dried spices, properly packaged and all, you can choose yes. They would ask you what are the things you are getting, and you should be able to answer them what you are getting because you have chosen yes. And are you getting any of these products like meat, dairy products? Dairy products also includes milk, curd or yogurt or ghee, butter, clarified butter. So everything is considered as dairy products. So make sure you are not bringing any of these. Meat is anything like chicken, beef, pork, lamb, goat, anything. So please make sure you are not getting those. And then plants and plant products, even the seeds are not allowed. Say the coriander seeds is not allowed, but coriander in the form of the powder should be fine. So make sure you are not getting any of the fresh vegetables, fruits, plants, anything. And next is the biosecurity, is that are you getting any live organisms or even soil, water, nothing is allowed. So make sure you are not getting any of those things. And also, have you been recently to do any gardening, beekeeping, fishing? Have you been to any camping, hunting, hiking? Have you been or not? please choose. It's just that your equipment that you have used for this should be neat and clean. As long as they are neat and clean, they can be in your bags, but make sure they are really neat and doesn't have any mud or water sticked onto them. That would be a problem. And then the next is, in the past 30 days, have you visited any wilder areas, or have you been in contact with animals or plants or something in farm or something? Please choose yes or no based on your visits. And are you bringing anything to New Zealand? So this is, are you as I said in my previous video, medicine, you can't get medicines without any prescription, so it's always advisable to have prescription for your medicine, so there won't be any questions asked. And are you also getting any weapons or controlled dogs? So will usually be no, and if you have yes, there would be questions, so please expect some questions if you have yes chosen for any of these options. And if you get something and choose no, then you would also get fine. So depending on the seriousness of the object that you are declaring incorrectly, your fine would start from $400, but there is always a chance that you could be also sent back to your country. So please make sure that the declaration is always correct. And are you bringing alcohol or tobacco above the above the limit? And also, are you bringing any of the goods which are valued more than 700 New Zealand dollars? So make sure you are not getting expensive things in your baggage. So if you are getting anything more than the New Zealand $700, I think there would be tax that you may need to pay. So I'm really not aware of that, but make sure, be prepared if you have to pay any excess taxes for those extra items. And are you carrying any goods related for your business and commercial use? If you're carrying, say yes, and if you say yes, they will be asking more details about that. Goods carried on behalf of other person. Are you carrying goods on behalf of other person? Did somebody ask you to get something for them? You need to declare that here and also share what are those details that, what are those things that you are getting for them. And or are you carrying New Zealand dollars in cash? So you can carry unlimited amount in your cards, but you cannot carry more than 10,000 New Zealand dollars in the form of cash. So please make sure you're not carrying more than 10,000 New Zealand dollars. And then section number 7 is they're asking if you have a New Zealand passport or a residence visa. Then you can skip section 8 and 9. But if you're not, if you are having Australian passport or Australian permanent residency or Australian visas, then you need to go to section 9 and skip 8. But if you have any other visa apart from New Zealand, Australia, you need to fill both 8 and 9. So 8, they are saying that you must leave New Zealand before expiry. That is one of the condition on your visa anyways. And are you coming to New Zealand for medical treatment or to give birth? If yes, choose yes, otherwise no. And if you hold a temporary entry, this particular option would be applicable if you are on an Indian passport. So this is the option, because we cannot come on an on-arrival visa to New Zealand. So only in case you are coming for an on-arrival visa, then you will choose this option, yes. But for Indian passports, it is usually this option that you will choose as yes. And section number 9, have you been to a jail for 12 months or more, prison for 12 months or more, and have you been deported from any other country at any point of time? If you choose yes, they would ask you details. Please fill in your details accordingly. And next is section number 10. So all these sections are newly added after the COVID, and please fill in your details to the best of your knowledge. And here they're asking for the past 14 days or 2 weeks, have you been, what are the countries have you visited? So please include the details of also your transiting countries through which you are transiting through your journey. Please also mention those along with the other countries that you have visited. And then the next one is, have you been in contact with the person who was diagnosed with COVID in the past 14 days? And then share your details there if you did. And section number 12 is the symptoms. Have you have you observed any of these following symptoms in the past 14 days is the question. If you did, you please fill in the options accordingly. And then section number 13 is just not for the past 14 days is what I understand. It is generically they are asking, have you been ever tested for COVID-19? It's just not 14 days. At some point of time or at any point of time, have you ever got tested for COVID-19? If yes, please share the details of the date and all the month, year when you were tested, and all those details until section 16. And then section 17 is they are asking, if at all based on the above assessment, if the New Zealand government asks you to go in a managed isolation or quarantine, are you ready to go? I think the answer would be yes. If you say no, then that means you are not willing to go to quarantine, which is that you may ask to go back to your country. So please think and answer this question. And the last one is just sign and keep in the date you're filling this card. That's all.